7. Hey, come on, Roll.
Most mornings at a resort in the Central Cascades, you'll find this woman chatting with tourists. What a nice old lady, they might think. They don't know the half of it.
I have been in a private meeting with her and a Secretary of the Interior where there was a twinkle in her eye. But she said, last resort, I'm going to strip a bunch of dynamite on my body and float downstream into the Thames.
Harriet, as I say, is my role model.
Not that many people in Leavenworth do flamenco dancing.
Harriet and I are probably both cougars.
Best marriage I've ever had, and I've had 4 of them.
This is Harriet Stimson Bullitt. In her 92 years, she's been a fencer, flamenco dancer, publisher, equestrian, tugboat captain.
Here we go.
She's perhaps best known for building the eco-retreat Sleeping Lady Resort in Leavenworth. But her influence extends west of the Cascades. In fact, you could say Harriet's family built Seattle, from logging town to green building mecca.
The Bullitt Center is the greenest office building in the world.
More about that in a minute. Harriet's grandfather, C.D. Stimson, came to Seattle thinking maybe he'd build a mill when the city burned down. Long story short, thanks to Stimson timber, the family became rich. But that doesn't mean Harriet grew up on Easy Street. She did live in the Highlands, which granted looks a lot like Easy Street. Her dad, Scott Bullitt, helped organize the Democratic Party in Washington state.
Well, he was somebody who I think he never met anybody he didn't like.
Harriet's idyllic childhood ended in 1932, when her father passed away from cancer. That same year, Harriet's grandfather and uncle also died, leaving her mother in charge. Dorothy Bullitt surprised everyone when she turned out to be a hell of a businesswoman. She kept the family's real estate holdings, which included the Coliseum Theater, profitable during the Great Depression. She would go on to found King TV.
She had the first television broadcast license west of the Mississippi and north of San Francisco.
Her mother, from all reports, was an exceedingly effective, decisive businesswoman, but was a dramatically better businesswoman than nurturing mother.
After her father's death, Harriet turned to nature to heal.
The natural world has always been a very important part of Harriet's life from her childhood, tomboy years out in the woods.
By the time she went to the University of Washington in the 40s, Harriet was a beautiful young woman, which turned out to be her downfall as the only girl studying chemical engineering. The head of the department kicked her out of the library forever.
Miss Bullitt, these boys are serious students and they can't be distracted by a girl. So don't ever come back here again. Gee, this is a nice place to sit.
She transferred to Bennington, but dropped out to marry a Dartmouth medical student. When that marriage dissolved, Harriet came back to Seattle, a single mother of 2. Once again, her love of nature helped her through a rough patch. She founded a magazine. From the 1960s to the 1980s, Pacific Northwest magazine made people aware of local environmental threats. But thanks to the publisher, it wasn't grim.
One day this envelope got dropped on my desk and I opened it. And I just rocked with laughter. Gary Larson.
No. Pacific Northwest magazine also gave photographer Art Wolfe his start, and wildlife artist Tony Angel.
I hope that maybe we planted a few seeds for people caring about where they live. That was the point.
Shortly after Harriet sold the magazine, Dorothy Bullitt died. Her children sold King TV, then promptly donated $100 million to the Bullitt Foundation.
It was an act of extraordinary generosity on the part of the children of Dorothy Bullitt to put the bulk of their inheritance from the estate into a foundation without even having a clear idea of what that foundation was going to do.
Harriet pushed the Bullitt Foundation to focus on the environment, in part by hiring Dennis Hayes, the founder of Earth Day, to run it. Today, the foundation fosters deep green building techniques, using the pioneering Bullitt Center as inspiration. Inspiration Hayes credits to Harriet's priorities.
She's not into jewels and furs and creature comforts. She's into getting things done in the world.
What's the difference between these plants?
Pam Amos, a friend since the 1960s, says when she first met Harriet, it was her athletic abilities that amazed her. She could fly a plane and sail and ski. She ran triathlons. You wouldn't want to challenge her to a duel.
The fencing, which I don't think she does anymore, but she was damn good, you know.
And I missed going to the Olympics by a very slim margin.
And then later she took up flamenco dancing, of which she was pretty damn good.
That's how she met a young Russian man. Alex came to a flamenco party on the boat Harriet lived on. That was in the 1990s.
I think of her handsome and a little bit junior husband, and I think, oh, good job.
We've been together now for more than 20 years, and there's a lot of years between us.
Are there?
Yeah, about 37.
Now in her 90s, Harriet's days are packed. She continues to ride her Icelandic horse, Lycan. She and Alex moved to a home they just built overlooking the Icicle River at Sleeping Lady Resort. And as they plan Harriet's 93rd birthday bash at the resort, friends are taking the measure of her life. But Harriet isn't.
How do you want to be remembered? Or is that a rude question?
No, nothing's rude. I don't know, because it's not up to me. I won't be here, so I don't care.
In other words, Harriet Stimson Bullitt doesn't fret about the end of life. She's too busy living.
Watch CityStream Thursday nights at 7 on the Seattle Channel, or get video on demand and podcasts anytime at seattlechannel.org.